Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, and last but not least, colleagues, despite the cold winter weather, a very, very warm welcome to Berlin, to this great venue, and to our 11th Digital Innovator Summit. It is so great to see all of you. Thank you very much for coming. I think we have got more than 500 delegates from 35 countries. And it's important that we all meet. Today, in a world of fake news, of apparently dominating platforms and challenging legislative initiatives by the EU, it's a tough time for publishers. But we have a saying in Germany by one of our famous writers, Hermann Hesse, and he says, "Only the weak are put on the path without peril." Therefore, we meet up the next 2 days to discuss how to overcome challenges and obstacles. Core of this conference will be to share successful business ideas and to obtain useful learnings to take back home for your own publishing business. And right away, we start with one of the innovations we have this year to make this event an even more valuable experience for you. Please welcome and meet Mr. James Hewes, sorry, the new President and Chairman of FIPP.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Don't worry, I know you haven't really forgotten my name already.
It was a joke on purpose.
Welcome, everyone. I just wanted to endorse what Alex has said. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming to the DIS. I have had the privilege of coming to every single one of these events since we started in Hanover many, many years ago. And it's always absolutely fantastic. This year promises to be no exception. Those of you who are regular guests here with us at DIS will notice that we've made a few changes this year. If you go into the discovery space in the next room there, you will see all sorts of different things to keep you entertained and amused, and hopefully to help you learn a few things as well. There is already the climbing wall has been mentioned, there is golf, there is a fantastic thing called Mind Ball where you have to use the power of your mind to move a ball. I didn't believe it, but it works, it's fantastic. Anyway, all designed to give you a more interactive experience. We hope you like it. It's divided into 4 seasons, summer, spring, winter, and autumn, and I hope you get the chance to visit all 4 of them. And I just want to thank the sponsors who've made that possible. They really put a lot of work and commitment into coming here and doing that, so please do take a moment to go and check out some of those sponsors and what they have got to offer. Now, that's all part of our commitment to continuously improve this event and all the events that we put on at FIP and with our partners at the VDZ as well. And that extends, of course, to the speaking element as well. What are you going to hear today? You're going to hear some fantastic case studies. You're going to hear about innovation. You're going to hear about new ways of doing digital business, hopefully in ways that you can take back and use in your companies from across the world, as you all are. I was at an event in Helsinki last week. FIP was running a new event called FIP Insider in Helsinki, and we were lucky to have with us a guy called Peter Houston, who many of you know from the Flipping Pages podcast, and he coined a great phrase that I think you'll use perhaps as a theme for today and tomorrow. He said that we're getting to the end of the beginning for digital media, and that's what it feels like now after 25 years of the internet and after 11 editions of the DIS.
That's it.
We're pretty much at the end of the beginning, and that's something maybe you'll detect in the talks that you're going to hear over the next couple of days. We've also got the launch of the ever-popular innovation book. You're going to hear the highlights from that later on. If you want a copy, I know many of you will want a copy. It always sells very well at this event. Then please come and see us on the FIP stand. I've spoken long enough. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the next couple of days. We will hand back over to Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. It is astonishing back there. Has everyone been already to get a coffee and a spinach muffin? Just let's have a look. This is the first piece of interactivity. If you fail at this challenge, the rest of the conference is a write-off, believe me. Who's been and had a coffee? This is not a hard question. Yes, you see, that's how it works. We can do interactivity. Next one's a bit more difficult. Summon up all your reserves. Who's been on the climbing wall? Literally nobody yet? All right, challenge by the end of the day. We'll find out who manages to get highest on the climbing wall. And I promise I'm almost finished asking you difficult questions this early in the morning. But the one I always have to check, who's been to one of our previous 10 Digital Innovators Summits? Who's been here before? So you know how this works, that's great. And who hasn't been here before? Well, it's an interesting decision to come and join the rest of us, because you'll discover as the day goes on, bits of it are really superb, bits of it are just great, other bits are just plain embarrassing, and most of that is my fault. But you'll get used to how we work. And the one thing we always do is to talk about where we sit as magazine media owners. What is our place in the world? And I can tell you, all those years ago, quite astonishingly, given how young I am, I moderated this event. And in those days, our questions were all about what's going to happen, how are we going to move forward. And as James just said, we really have matured. And the conversation these days is not about, oh, what does the future hold? We're hearing more and more about how magazine media brands are really working with and in the newly created digital spaces to make genuine revenues. And in the past month, I mean, what a month it's been. We all saw that Apple bought Texture, which again a few years ago on stages remarkably similar to this one, was one of the all-you-can-eat online magazine platforms, now bought by Apple, saying they have a commitment to quality content. On the other hand, Procter & Gamble, Mark Pritchard, CMO, has said that he wants to see creativity and media buying more closely bonded together, along with a lot of other complaints about the agency world in terms of project management and extra expense that, frankly, advertisers don't need. What was a really interesting takeaway from that was the subtext, was that perhaps we need a little bit less coding and a bit more straightforward creativity. Coding's certainly not going away, but the old-fashioned design and writing skills, which many of in this room gained at the beginning of their careers, are perhaps more in demand than we might think. And WPP Group M has said in the past week, Adam Smith said that it's perhaps too early to call the decline of the magazine market. And in fact, it isn't going as badly as anyone thinks. That subscription and revenue-driven models for magazines mean that advertisers should be taking them extremely seriously. Meanwhile, Facebook, great brand, great climbing wall. Is it still the dominant force that all of us must look to for the future? Well, that's a question we're going to be addressing later on in the conference. Some changes then, some housekeeping changes. First of all, if you're looking at the print program, it's already out of date. That's no comment on print versus digital, but the online version will tell you there's a new speaking slot at the end of day 2, and it's worth waiting for. It's Kevin Turpin of Atlantic Media. Their B2B brand, National Journal, has been on quite a journey itself, transforming from the usual subscription and advertising-driven model to one based on consultancy, research, insight, particularly interesting. So the other thing to say, all the sessions are being recorded on video. So if you can't make, for example, there are 2 sessions that clash, one in the other room back there and one here, don't worry. The video recording will allow you to look at the sessions you haven't been able to make in person afterwards. And of course, do get to the area behind me. If you haven't been on the climbing wall yet, you may not have read the small print on your ticket, but we are going to insist that everyone at least gets to about 2 meters off the ground. It's essential. So don't forget to say hello to each and every sponsor. So is everyone broadly happy that you know what's going on and that it's going to be a conference that will be well worth struggling through the alleged snow in London and other European cities to get to? Everyone happy with that idea? See, second hurdle. The first difficult bit in the morning is the whole raising the hand thing, which I accept is a challenge. The really difficult bit is the use of the voice. It's a vocal coaching thing, and I'm quite good at this kind of thing. So we're going to try it once more, and it comes from down here. It's not up here. It's not a reedy kind of, yeah, I'm fine. It's more of a, yes, I am. So is everyone completely ready for today and tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, you see already, not only have you got value in terms of our great speakers, but you're now actually able to project your voice more solidly than you could 5 minutes ago. Is there no end to what this conference brings you? The answer is no, there isn't. In a few minutes, we're going to bring news about the digital transformation of Hong Kong's South China Morning Post. And of course, I can confirm that Juan Senor is in the building. The irrepressible Juan Senor will be bringing you the Innovation in Magazine Media Report, the highlight of every conference.